who are you? And
what do you want? Who are you? What do you want? Sorry.
Do I say like to you or to that?
You can say it to me.
All right. So my name is Danielle Livingood. I'm a real estate investor here in northern Indiana.
If you were to compile your life in a few short chapter segments, what would those titles look like?
Can I cuss on here?
Go for it. I'll bleep it. I'll bleep it.
Broke bit. No, one of them. That's a good question. Okay, so when I was younger, maybe like double wide Danny's. I grew up in a double wide. I feel like that was very like categorizes a lot of my childhood. Broke B when I was in my early 20s trying to figure some stuff out. Trial and error for like more late 20s. And then I'm going to cheat and use my word of the year for this chapter and be like we're becoming some cool things. Cool shit over here. But
And what was the first one that you said?
Double wide Danny.
Double wide Danny. Double wide Danny.
Yeah. I grew up in a double wide and I was chubby.
Chapter 2 was
Broke B.
Broke B. And then
Trial and error.
T-N-E. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take notes that way I'm able to.
No, you're fine.
And then
becoming. Yeah.
Let's focus on, because are you okay with me saying what you told me?
Yeah.
What you made? You've roughly made, I think last year was $250,000.
230. Yeah. Yep.
After taxes, Uncle Sam loves his money. Uncle Sam loves his money. But you made roughly $250,000 in the last year doing real estate investment.
Mm-hmm.
But you were broke very early on.
Yeah.
What was that life like?
So I had a really hard life growing up. My mom was, still is, like a bartender and a cook. She's also like an alcoholic. I don't have a dad. So it was just her raising 3 kids. And so we had a lot of struggles. I had a baby I got pregnant at 14, had her at 15. Very abusive relationship. He did a lot of drugs and he used to kind of beat my ass a lot. Then after I left that relationship, I got with my youngest daughter's dad, moved from Michigan to Indiana, got a job in RVs, and for the first time kind of felt like stability. And from there, we ended up separating. I did RVs for like 10 years and then hopped into real estate in the last few years. And it took me from like stability to seeing like what it is actually like to use money as a tool. So to get to higher ground. So I think the most I ever made in RVs was like 92,000. And I was like, oh, I'm doing great. This is awesome. Like, it's because I was upper management as well. So I was the person everybody hated. I was like head QC. So I went down to all the plants and just pissed people off.
You were the person that would walk in there, tell them how to do the job, but never actually did their job.
Exactly. And they'd be like, you didn't do it well.
You missed a spot.
Yeah.
You need to get in there. You're the Karen of the job, basically.
Yeah.
At that point.
It's funny because someone I ended up dating, I was actually the reason he quit when when we worked together. So he was like, you made me hate my life. I actually quit because of you. I was like, ooh.
Thanks.
So, so yeah, I was the one, if you saw me coming, you were like, dang, it's going to be a bad day. So, but yeah, when I reached 92,000, I was like, wow, this is it. This is great. I'm doing so good. Life is amazing. But I was working anywhere from like 50 to like 80 hours a week to do that. There are times I'd go in at like 4:35 in the morning and I wouldn't leave until 10 p.m. at night. It's like, it was it was a lot of work for, what is, it's good money. What I thought at the time was amazing money. And, but I kind of like killed myself for it. So like looking back, I'm like, oh man, I would never do that again. It is what it is.
We talked about this a while back, actually, to get some of my questions in my mind.
Okay.
You said you had mentioned that you asked your child about changing passions.
Yeah.
Why a child? Why a child would be the best question, but why was real estate becoming a passion? Why first your child, and then why was real estate your passion?
So real estate, I started finding out about during COVID when we were on shutdown. My kids got me to download TikTok.
We love TikTok.
I still love TikTok. But I got on there and I'm like looking up side hustles because my work was, we weren't working for a while. And I came across real estate and I was like, I think it was wholesaling is the first thing I was learning about. And I was like, I want to learn more about this. And then almost immediately after learning about real estate, I started dating somebody and he was like, well, I'm learning real estate. So it was a journey we spent with each other over a couple years, getting more involved in real estate. I ended up doing a couple flips with him, started his LLC, writing business plans. Like I'm over here winging it. Okay. He's like, I need this. And I'm like, cool. I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna figure it out. So learned a lot. And then, a couple years into that, we went to the Fort Wayne real estate meetup, and that's where I met my current partner. My boyfriend at the time was like, he's like, this is the guy I want to meet here. And I was like, okay. It's like, I know him from Instagram. I want to meet him. We did meet him and he offered to give us like a free one-on-one. So, shortly after this, my boyfriend and I went on a break and I reached out to Eddie and I was like, hey, like, would you still do that meetup if it's just me? And he said, yeah. Did it, went great. He gave me a ton of advice for how to like start doing stuff on my own since I wasn't doing it with, my ex. And we kept in contact for a couple weeks. Then RVs like took a downturn. We were like going to start losing money. And I also got into a big fight with my boss. So
that's going to be fun.
Yeah. And I remember coming home and I was like, I got sent home early that day and I was really debating going back for a pay cut or just leaving and figuring it out. And so I reached out to Eddie. I was like, hey, like, would you take me on in whatever capacity? He's like, give me 2 hours and I'll get you an answer. And I picked up my daughter from school and we're talking about the day and she's very perceptive and it's just at that time it was just her and I at home. So anything I did was going to like greatly impact her. She was only 11 at the time, but she was going to have to deal with the change I made if I did make a change. So I was like, I'm waiting for an answer from him, but this is a situation I'm in. Like, I think I want to do this. Is that something like you think you can deal with? Because it would mean me like not being able to afford some things for a while. Like you wouldn't be able to have like the life you're accustomed to for a little bit, So, and she was very supportive. She was like, no, I want you to chase it. If that means I can't have ice cream or toys for a while, that's fine. She's like, I want you to do it. That's what you want, Mom. You hate your job. And I did. I hated my job. And she was like, I want you to be happy. So I'll deal with it. And for the first, like, cause this was like a commission only, it still is a commission only position, but, for the first like 6 months, I had no income. I was living off of a credit card, a personal loan I took out, well, a couple credit cards, a personal loan I took out in savings. So like she was used to like traveling, doing a lot of stuff. And we did a lot of free events that summer. So if you saw us doing anything for that summer, it was definitely a free event hosted by Elkhart. So shout out Elkhart, you did great. Yeah, so that's how she takes credit for it. And she was the one that like, was very supportive, but that's why I asked. It was her giving up a lot for me to pursue something I wanted to do. So I felt like her opinion was worth it, So yeah.
Was this the point where it became trial and error?
Mm-hmm.
What did that look like for anybody that's looking to get into being a real estate investor? What did that look like, and how did it make you see the world in that perspective?
It looks like kind of for a while I felt like I was just floundering, it was this part, doing like acquisitions and like talking to homeowners is something I did very little of in the past. Like when with my ex, the properties we flipped, they were like on market deals. So we had tried getting some off market ones, spoke to very few sellers. So it was a whole new ball game. And it's like trying to figure out what worked. I was like going up to people's doors, knocking. I was like doing driving for dollars. I was doing all the things, trying to find what worked for me. And I was taking the worst notes possible. Okay. Like you should have seen my Podio setup. It's getting better.
It's there.
It's getting better.
You can read it.
Yeah. So it was a lot of trying to figure out, I started posting a bunch on social media, seeing if that helped, just seeing what I was good at, what I could do, trying different sales techniques. Like, I watched a lot of the Grant Cardone training videos. Honestly, that's not a sales technique I can vibe with. So like that.
Just popped on me.
No.
Okay, so it was trials and errors. Then you were talking about how.
Oh yeah, just finding out not only a system and a lead type and a sales style that worked for me, but like adjusting to going from like a W-2 to self-employed. And it's that's a big change because sometimes it feels like feast or famine,
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, well, having so much money, then you're like, ooh,
hold on, I can't do these fancy dinners anymore. Ooh, guys, I'm gonna call it early. It's 7. I'm gonna call it early.
Yeah. So it was a big lifestyle adjustment, but rewiring your brain while you're doing this stuff is a huge thing too. Because like when you're in a W-2, like you have other people to hold you accountable for the work you're doing, your productivity. And then you have to switch to like wanting it bad enough for yourself that you do it for you. And that I think is where a lot of people fall off because we know how to perform for others, but when left to doing it for ourselves, a lot of times we slack. So you have to want it bad enough that if it's sink or swim, you know for sure there's no way you're sinking. So I spent months crying in the shower every day. I took 2 showers a day, so I could cry. But you see yourself different. I think you realize like how capable you are when you do something like that. Everybody told me, except for one person and Caroline. So one of my friends and my daughter were the only ones that told me to like do it. Everyone else was like, no, that's really scary. You shouldn't do that. But doing it and then realizing like, wow, I did this thing everybody else was scared of, but I made it work. It's like, my balls are big. I have really big balls. So yeah, when you see yourself as insanely capable, it makes it easier to take on a lot in life,
You've been doing this for 2 years, right?
Almost 3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what was in the last 3 years? I mean, obviously, technically, you're still newer to it because, you're not doing it for like decades. But what was the biggest trial, potentially even error that you committed and that you had to learn on your feet how to adjust really quick?
I would say follow through. Like initial outreach is easy, right? With your clients, homeowners and stuff, but follow through's a big one. And then you don't know unless you ask. There are a lot of people I was scared to approach. The people who, like they might need to sell a house because someone died. That's why like they still get me. Okay. Like I'm like, I don't know. But reaching out and like a lot of people are so grateful when you reach out, even if it's under like the shittiest circumstances. And so you really never know unless you ask, you put yourself out there. But it's sometimes it's a little gut-wrenching to be the one to have to be like, hey, do you need help with this? Can I help you? And kind of putting your big girl pants on to do it.
Chapter 4.
Okay.
Becoming.
Right.
What is that looking like for you currently? What was that looking like for you even just in the past?
So, I'm always a person with very like lofty ambitions, and I generally hit my goals. So, but there's some goals some things I've wanted that I haven't put down into like actionable steps yet. And so this chapter is about doing those things and not putting off what I know I'm capable of and actually becoming all the things like I know I can. I am going to be extremely wealthy so that I can have like huge impacts on family, community, and other people around me. So to do that, I have to stop dicking around and I have to put the work in and stop being scared of what those results look like, because with attention, fame, money, power, with any big thing, there comes like a risk that it could skew sideways, or like, you get fear of rejection, or what if it doesn't work out. So sometimes we're scared to pursue the things we want because what if it doesn't work out the way I think it does, or what if I'm not capable of it. So this new chapter is like, to hell with that. We're doing all the things we said we were, and there's no way we won't win because we already know we can. So just becoming all the things I said I could do. Yeah.
You mentioned you want to do something for a community.
Yeah.
Communities around you, families around you. What does that look like in the future? What goal do you have to reach to be able to do that?
So I'm still shaping that. And I have such a big heart, so it's hard to define it in, like one aspect, because I'm very driven towards like the unhoused population, to food scarcity. I come from very little means, and I've been making like, big changes for myself. And all in all, like it's kind of easy. What I do is easy. Like I could teach anyone to do this and have results. And so many people don't know it's even possible. So I want to educate people so they know what they could do to change their lives. And I want to help with some of these inequalities in our system where it's like, it shouldn't be impossible for people to have safe housing. It shouldn't be impossible for people to have childcare while they're working. There's a few ways I'm still trying to like, a few things I'm looking at and trying to kind of narrow how to go about it, but helping the unhoused, educating people on wealth and how to get it and manage it. And wealth looks different to everybody, like your idea of wealth can look different than mine.
4 tacos a day.
I want 4.
Gotta be free. Chicken though, we gotta go on that cup. We gotta make sure that we're not.
Pastor, that al pastor is so. If it's a good al pastor, it's
you gotta go to Anokas in Bremen. I'm telling you.
I've never been.
Yeah, it's so they're al pastor. We're getting off fucking topic.
Tacos are always on topic.
But they're al pastor. They leave little chunks of pineapple in it.
That's my favorite. I love when the pineapple's in there.
And it just amplifies the flavor. And when you put the salsa verde and roja so good. Yeah. A little bit of avocado too. Oh,
okay. I'll have to go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go.
I've already been thinking about Rosales tacos today. I'm like,
looks like we gotta go to Bremen.
I could go.
Looks like we gotta go to Bremen. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying, wealth wise. You said it's different for everybody. What's that looking like for you?
Like for me, it is to have enough capital that I can do well for myself. Yes. I don't want to deny that there is some like selfishness in there. I want to do well, travel well, live well. Same for my kids, but I want to have enough that I can retire my mom and my uncle. My sister can work for me. My other sister can have her business that she wants, that I can pour into people I love and care for, whether that's like, oh, I want, like, can you help me start this business? Or can you teach me this? Can we do classes for this? That I can help make those things come true. But also, like, again, the community part is huge for me. So being able to, yes, take care of, support, and invest in my friends and family, but also people in the community. I think everybody should have housing, education, and stability. As someone who's been unhoused before, sleeping on couches, like, it doesn't feel good to not know if you have heat when you go home today, if you can shower when you go home, if you'll be able to turn the lights on or not, if you have to find somewhere to stay. Like, there are basic needs everybody should have, and I want to make sure everybody has those, and then the means to do better if that's what they want.
You said that there are selfish means in what you want. Do you believe that it's okay to be selfish for success?
To a degree, yes. I think selfishness is okay, but and needed. As someone who, like, I have a very big heart. Like, if you are walking with me in Chicago and someone stops us and asks us for money, I am giving money. I'll be like, if I don't have cash, I'll be like, do you have Cash App? Like, can I send this on Apple Pay? But having, like, a big heart and wanting to do so many things for people, the lesson I've learned, and often the hard way, is that I need to be selfish to take care of my cup so that I continue to pour into others. Like, I work hard. I want to be able to do things in life that fill me up. Travel's a big one. Like, I don't really care about name brand. I think my whole outfit's from Shein, but I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to spend $200 at Barnes and Nobles for books if that's what I'm feeling froggy for.
There's a library down the road, bro.
I know, but I like seeing them in my apartment. It's like extensive decoration, but I want to be able to enjoy my life so that I can keep pouring into the people around me. So I maybe selfish isn't the right word for it, but I think that you have to be able to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Because if you keep pouring from an empty cup, eventually there's nothing to pour, And I've been there. It's not great. I want to keep pouring from a full cup.
Let's go to chapter 1. DD and double decker Danny.
Double fly Danny.
What your childhood said you grew up with an alcoholic mom.
Yeah.
You didn't. I don't know if you mentioned your dad. I don't
have a dad. I mean, I do. She doesn't know who he is, but it's a mystery. If you solve it, it'll give me $100.
Make it 2 and I got What did that childhood look like? How do you feel like it shaped you? Would be the best way to.
It was rough. Like, I use humor to describe it a lot because I guess it's like the easiest coping mechanism, but it was very rough. Like, we were always bouncing around from place to place. We never knew if my mom was going to be around. At some point, I was chasing away babysitters with scissors to just try to get my mom home because she was always gone. She used to, like, come home and, like, lock us in our bedroom so we wouldn't bother her while she's partying with her friends after, like, being gone for 100 hours a week working. Like, I pretty much raised my middle sister. She's 14 months younger than me, and I pretty much raised her. We'd have to figure out if we could get food. We'd steal my mom's truck to drive to 3 of hers at like 14. So it's like a 30-minute drive, right? In a blue Durango to go to Walmart and get groceries so that we'd have groceries because my mom was either working or drinking, and we didn't know if we'd have food if we didn't do this. Or, so I was very resilient because I had to be. And it was, you have to learn to be resilient, how to make things happen. You got to get like a survivor mindset. and I'm blessed for that. I think some people in these circumstances get like a victim mentality, but I developed like more of a survivor mentality. So like anything you throw at me, I can get out of it because I've had to before. But at the same time, it teaches you a lot of that resilience and strength. And it also like kind of put me where I still to this day, I struggle with thinking my worth is dependent on my productivity, like what I can do for people. Because if you are raised in an environment where no one's there to care and love for you unless it's like super convenient, and you're always trying to figure out what to do to get care and love. So you're always like, oh, okay, if I do this, and then if I do this, like I struggle with people pleasing still because, trying to get my mom to care enough to like pay attention to me and my sisters. So it shapes you in a lot of ways, some good, some bad. But at the end of the day, when you're an adult, it's your job to like hammer it out to make yourself into a better person. So that's what we've been doing for the last few years. But and it didn't really get better until I got pregnant. So it's weird to say that teen pregnancy helped us a lot, but before then, when we were out in the middle of nowhere without food or heat, my mom would steal these propane tanks to like hook up to our house. So like you couldn't shower and you couldn't eat, like you couldn't use the gas stove, but you'd have a little bit of heat in the house. So I can cook almost anything out of a microwave. But like people didn't care about this while we were just 2 kids out or 3 kids out in the middle of nowhere until I got pregnant. And then when I was like the 14-year-old with a baby in school, people started to care. So they'd make sure we have groceries. If we didn't have heat or something, they'd let us come stay with them. So honestly, life started looking up after I had a teen pregnancy. Weird as that is. Yeah. So yeah, made me very resilient, made me very productive. But the downside of that is like, I still to this day think I have to be productive. Like you won't ever see me like rest, chill.
Oh, I know. Your stories constantly say gremlin at work in bed.
Yeah.
or eating a still very much alive steak.
They're better purple.
They're not. That's how we die early, Danny.
It was a good steak. It was a great steak, actually. So
family is obviously important to you.
yeah.
At those early ages, you believe that has been a heavy influence to care so much for your family? Like as I know as a mom, you are meant to care. Like you are to care for your child.
Mm-hmm.
But do you believe that has created such a level of caring that you're maybe coping from what your childhood looked like?
Yeah, I know from firsthand experience what it looks like to struggle and nobody see you and struggle and nobody help you. And that's terrible to be like, I am literally hanging on by a thread and nobody cares. Like, I don't want that for anybody. So I try to be very intentional with people I'm around to not like kill myself doing it, but try to do what I can to help people, especially if they're important to me. Like I'm very caring, I'm very generous, and I'm very kind, but I know what it feels like to have people be unkind, to people not see, not help, or not, not show up. So I just try to make sure that doesn't happen to people I know I care for as much as I could,
We've had talks about like certain political issues. I'm a very centrist human being. I am in the center. I'll tell you that now. If anybody on the extreme left or right will always tell me I'm on the other side. But I'm a very center, very in the middle person.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see that you feel like should be a change in this world to help people? Political wise. I'll say political wise.
I think honestly, like more socialist programs, like Social Security is a great program, like Medicaid, SNAP, those are great programs, but nobody should have to struggle with the bare minimum necessities for life. Like you should have housing, food, and healthcare so that you can never do better if you can never get past surviving. So if you want people to do better in life, you want them to contribute to the society in a more impactful way, they have to know they have a safe place to sleep. They can go to the doctor if they're sick, and their bellies will be full. If you give that to people, they can start climbing up the ladder and they can be better for society. Like, you can expect more from them, but you can't do that if we don't give them the bare means for life. So
I keep seeing this quote being thrown around. Strong time or bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times, and then good times create weak people. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that that could be where this route of this world is going?
I think there's merit to it. I see it a lot in people who have circumstances like I do, where you have like hard circumstances. You get to a position of wealth or stability. Your kids get used to that and kind of neglect to keep that going because they're more like entitled. So they go back to like kind of gamble it all away, lose it all, and then go back to like, okay, now we're in a hard time again. So I mean, I see that in like systems of wealth. So I think there's merit to it, but like with anything, if you find a way to balance stuff instead of going from one extreme to the next, I think it's a manageable cycle.
My last question for you, and this is where we'll probably end.
Don't really hit me, I'll cry.
I can't hit you. You guys are the one that hit me all the time.
True.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Within 5 years, I will be at the means to start building those systems to help friends, family, and community. I'll have the capital to do that, to start getting things into place. And I want to see that fully developed in 10 years. Ideally, in 10 years, I would be implementing sustainable neighborhoods in communities throughout the US that don't have, like walkable grocery stores, parks, accessible daycare. I would ideally in 10 years, I'd start helping with sustainable communities. That's where I would like to be. Also be able to travel all the time. All right. But within the next 3 to 4 years, I should have the capital. I will have the capital to really start building those out. I want to start with my sisters and getting that. My one sister said she'd like rather work for a business for me, and my other sister wants to like start a business. So I see that within the next 3 years, and then like getting their family involved. I'll probably have to employ my daughter, so she'll be working for me, and I'll have a business position for her.
Send her to McDonald's first.
She's already done McDonald's. She's still a rat. And I'm already doing things now to make the connections to build out those community systems and start seeing change. So I want to see that really like full go in the next 3 to 5 years, and then be able to see the fruits of it within 10, but ideally in 10 years, I'm doing something to build out sustainable communities within the US, especially areas like where they often get neglected, like rural areas where like my sister drives an hour to work and this like 30 minutes to daycare. So she's got to go here, because there's nothing built in to have like a sense of community. So you have to like constantly outreach, and also often at the detriment to like yourself. So rural areas get overlooked. Some rural areas don't even have hospitals right now, so building out those communities so that people can have basic necessities and means for life and can start thriving instead of surviving. So starting that in the next 3 to 5, and then seeing that fruitful and growing in the next 10.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this convo. where can they find you? On social media? What's your social media? Where can they find you?
I have all social media, I think. I have a Twitter. Don't talk to me on Twitter though, I don't get on there. My Instagram is Danielle Livingood. That's a real name. It's not fake. So
I thought it was fake, honestly.
So I have 2 Instagrams, Danielle Livingood and one's Living Good Investing, and I have a TikTok that's Danielle Livingood as well. So Facebook, yeah, all those, and it's just my name, Danielle Livingood, and I am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.